Hey guys, JP here. Today I'll be sharing with you my Seiko SLR003 HEQ, also known as the Peach Monster. So this is the Seiko Peach Monster. From what I've been reading about, the Seiko Peach Monster is actually a very rare watch. It was released sometime, I think in 1999. Seiko came out with two models. It was the SLR001. That one had a black dial, and also an SLR003 with the cream dial, or peach. I guess in certain angles it's peach, but yeah, cream or peach. But this one is called the Peach Monster. Comes with a 8.5 or 8F35 Seiko. It's a high frequency quartz movement, and this model is let me see if I can focus here. A perpetual calendar movement. So the perpetual calendars, basically you set it once, you program it once, and you shouldn't have to adjust the date, the month, and all that stuff. So when you program it, you actually adjust the year, whether it's the first, second, third, or the fourth, which the fourth is a leap year, and then the month as well, and also the date. So once it's programmed, the only thing you need to do is really just set the time until you need to change the battery again. So a side story, story about this watch. I actually acquired it a few years ago from Multiple Watch Trade, and I saw it and I was like, hey, it looks pretty cool. You know, at that time I was really into the larger watches, specifically the Seiko Tuna. So I liked the larger dive watches. And when I saw this, I was like, hey, you know, it's a pretty nice watch. It's nothing I was crazy about, but I included it into the sale. At that time, it wasn't moving, so I was able to bargain for it. I knew that it needed a battery, so when I brought it home, you know, I changed the battery. I had to special order the battery. I opened this, changed the battery, and it started working. The only thing is that it only moved in 5-second increments. So it'd be like, it would stop there, and then in 5 seconds it'd go to the 20 mark, 5 seconds go to 25, 5 seconds go to 30 mark. And so I started, wondering, why did I do it wrong or whatever. So I looked online, and I guess there's a special way to program this. Or all the perpetual watches, because you have to program it by leap year or whatever year it is, and then the month and then the date. So I tried doing it, and I didn't have much success. So this basically sat, after that it sat in my drawer for a couple of years, and I just decided to pull it out just a few weeks ago, and I brought it to a professional Seiko watchmaker, and the guy basically programmed it in 15 minutes for $15. So I was really, I should have, I was kicking myself because I should have done that, years ago, and I could have enjoyed the watch. At that time, I was really into these larger watches. Now I like the smaller pieces. This is my Breitling Super Ocean. This is another Seiko that I have. It's a 50 fathoms custom built watch, I guess. And then in June or July, in July I went to Japan, and I bought myself my first Rolex, and it's the Submariner 14060M, and I liked the size so much that I ended up getting a Squale. So they look pretty identical. The Squale is like a tenth of the cost of the Rolex, of course. But I'm thinking about doing a video and comparing those two. But anyways, back to the Peach Monster. Yeah, so I've been wearing less like smaller watches, like 40 to 42, and you know, I actually have a Hamilton X1 as well. It's at 44, and I feel that that's a little too big for me. So I'm thinking about letting this one go, and you know, if I do decide to let her go, I wanted to make this video just to document that I have this watch, or I've had it once in my life, you know, one time in my lifetime, because this is a pretty rare watch, you know. And I was surfing the internet through the forums, and I couldn't find much about this watch, but I do know that it's rare. Everyone's saying that it's rare, but there's not a lot of information out there on this, because there were only a limited number of these watches that were produced. So yeah, this was released in 1999, and it's believed that this is the mother, or where Seiko got the inspiration to produce the Seiko Monsters automatic. And the Seiko Monster is a really popular watch. I think you can get it for like under 200, but very, you know, just a really nice, strong, efficient watch. It's like one of the best watches you can get for under 200, you know, along with the SKX line, 007 and 009, and along with the Orient, a couple Orient pieces. And, but yeah, so a lot of people have that Seiko Monster, and that the 007 and the Seiko Monster are actually two watches that, from what my understanding is, it's a necessity to every Seiko collector's collection. Like, or they always start off with those watches, and you know, they expand to like the vintage pieces and so on. So that's why this is, I guess, rare. But yeah, I just wanted to show this off, and just in case I do use this video for my sale, if I do sell it, I might as well just show the condition of it. So yeah, there's a ding there, and it's not a perfect watch. It's in, you know, good condition, or fair condition, I would say, so I don't want to overstate it. But you know, the bracelet is sized for 6 inches and 3/4, which is basically the size of my wrist, and that's all I have. There's no other links. But I wear my watches loose, so you can see that this is actually, it should actually sit up here. So there's still some space here. You know, I think without extending the diver's extension, it would fit a wrist of 7 inches. Speaking of the diver's extension, I'll show you pretty much what it is. So the diver's extension is right here, and you just basically lift that tab, and then there's a hook, and then you unhook it. So it gives you an extra 3/4 of an inch. For those who don't know what the diver's extension is for, well, basically it's plain and simple. It's an extension to the bracelet for divers, because when divers dive, they have a wetsuit. So normally a wetsuit's pretty thick, and they want to wrap their watch around it. And so the diver's extension allows them to get that extra 3/4 of an inch or an inch extra extension, so that it'll fit over, and it doesn't squeeze their hand, or it's not too tight. And then after they dive, then you know, you can basically put it back to your right size, and go on with your day. You can go to your meeting or meet friends for drinks or whatever. But yeah, so back to the condition of the watch. This black thing is actually rubber, and the rubber is starting to wear down. Like this right here, as you can see, it chipped off a piece there. And over here, this second, what looks like a screw, I'm not exactly sure if it's a screw, but I think all it is that it holds the rubber. There is a rubber piece wrapped around it, and I think that the screw is actually not a screw, but the whole purpose is just to hold the rubber for I guess, I don't know if the rubber's for protection or whatever. But yeah, so that thing came off already, and this thing is a little loose. Yeah, this rubber is a little loose. I've seen a couple pictures online. where they actually took off the rubber, and so it's all metal. I'm not sure if they did it on purpose because they like the look of it, or if it's because their rubber pieces just basically came off. And I'm not even sure if you can get a replacement of it. But yeah, I mean, just to have this watch is so rare. I'm sure any Seiko collector would take it in any condition. I was actually thinking about polishing and buffing it and cleaning it up before I shot this video, but I decided if I do decide to sell it, it's better to give it in this condition, because the buyer might prefer to have it have the worn look, and because I guess I'm not a pro at polishing, so I don't want to mess it up. But yeah, it's has a screw-in crown, 4 o'clock, has a rotating bezel, one direction. It feels good actually. The bezel is like not too tight. They're very solid. It's a very solid watch. Perpetual calendar, quartz movement, 196 kilohertz high frequency movement. Very rare. Yeah, so this is it. This is the Peach Monster.